What if the most expensive coin you'll ever own is sitting in a jar of pennies right now? Not a gold coin, not the silver dollar, not a rare treasure locked away in a museum vault, just a simple Lincoln penny that millions of people would overlook without a second glance. La coins world every day. Americans unknowingly spend coins that pass through their hands in seconds. They toss them into tip jars, leave them in cup holders, or dump them into coin-counting machines for a few dollars in cash. To most people, a penny is almost worthless. But to a collector, a penny can be a hidden financial asset. And that brings us to one of the most mysterious and talked about coins among treasure hunters and numismatic enthusiasts of the 1975 mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny, a coin surrounded by mystery, a coin linked to unusual minting anomalies, a coin so elusive that many collectors call it a ghost of the marketplace, and under the right circumstances, a specimen displaying extraordinary characteristics has been associated with valuations reaching as high as $791,000. Think about that for a moment. The difference between spending a penny and preserving it could potentially mean the difference between losing a fortune and discovering one. That's why today's story matters, because before this video ends, you'll understand why collectors search relentlessly for this coin, what specific error markers make it special, and why some experts believe there may still be undiscovered examples hiding in plain sight. The story begins in 1975. America was emerging from a period of economic uncertainty. Inflation concerns were growing. The nation's coinage system was under pressure from increasing production demands. Meanwhile, the United States Mint continued striking billions of Lincoln cents for circulation. To the average citizen, 1975 seemed like an ordinary year for pennies. To collectors, however, it would eventually become a year associated with unusual mysteries and overlooked opportunities. The Lincoln cent had already become one of the most collected coins in American history. Designed to honor President Abraham Lincoln, it carried generations of history in a tiny copper-colored disc. Yet within that massive production environment, mistakes occasionally happened. Tiny errors, small abnormalities, production anomalies that escaped quality control. Most went unnoticed at the time. Decades later, those same mistakes became the focus of intense collector attention. And that's where the legend of the 1975 mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny begins. Unlike common circulation examples, certain reported specimens exhibit characteristics that separate them from ordinary pennies. Collectors searching for these elusive pieces focus on several key areas. The first involves mint mark irregularities. During the era, mint marks were added manually to working dies. This process occasionally created opportunities for inconsistencies. A mint mark positioned unusually high, low, tilted, doubled, or distorted can instantly transform an otherwise ordinary coin into something much more desirable. When experienced collectors examine a potentially valuable 1975 penny, one of the first things they inspect is the mint mark. Even the smallest anomaly can mean the difference between face value and substantial collector interest. But mint marks are only the beginning. Attention reset. Before we continue, ask yourself a simple question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny before spending it? Most people can't remember. That's exactly why valuable coins continue slipping through circulation unnoticed. Now let's go deeper. Another feature associated with high-value examples is doubling. A double die occurs when the die used to strike coins receives a misaligned impression during its creation. The result can produce visible duplication in letters, numbers, or design elements. To an untrained eye, the effect may seem insignificant. To a collector, it can be a major discovery. Strong doubling often commands significant premiums because it reflects a genuine minting anomaly rather than ordinary wear. Some reported examples associated with the 1975 coin display unusual doubling characteristics that continue generating discussion among specialists. Then there are die cracks and die breaks. These occur after repeated use causes stress fractures in the die itself. As the damaged die continues striking coins, raised lines and unusual formations appear on the finished pieces. In certain cases, these features become dramatic enough to create entirely new collectible varieties. Some advanced collectors spend years searching specifically for these unusual die states, and when one appears on an already scarce coin, demand can surge rapidly. Next comes the category that fascinates treasure hunters the most: multi-era examples. These are coins displaying more than one anomaly simultaneously. Imagine finding a coin with a misplaced mint mark, visible doubling, and a die crack all on the same specimen. The odds become incredibly small, the rarity becomes extraordinary, and the value potential increases dramatically. That combination is one reason some collectors view the finest examples as legendary, but technical errors alone don't explain the fascination surrounding this coin. The real mystery lies in scarcity. Many era coins eventually surface in large enough quantities for researchers to study them extensively. The 1975 mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny is different. Collectors frequently describe it as elusive, rarely seen, difficult to verify, almost invisible within the marketplace. That reputation has earned it a unique nickname among enthusiasts: the ghost coin. A coin that appears just often enough to fuel excitement but rarely enough to maintain mystery. And in the collecting world, mystery has value. The fewer examples available, the more intensely collectors compete when one finally appears. This creates a fascinating psychological dynamic. People naturally desire what they cannot easily obtain. The harder a coin becomes to locate, the more determined collectors become to own it. As competition rises, prices follow. Attention reset. Take a moment and imagine this. Somewhere in America, a forgotten coffee can filled with pennies sits on a shelf. Inside that container could be a coin worth more than many luxury vehicles. The owner has no idea. Stranger things have happened. In fact, some of the most important numismatic discoveries in history emerged from forgotten collections, inherited coin boxes, and old jars tucked away for decades. That's what keeps collectors searching. Not certainty, possibility. And possibility is powerful. As years passed, interest in rare Lincoln cents continued growing. Auction houses reported increasing participation. Online collector communities expanded dramatically. Professional grading services brought greater transparency to the market. Suddenly, rare coins were no longer a niche hobby. They became alternative assets, historical artifacts, potential stores of wealth. This shift attracted a new generation of buyers, not just collectors, investors, entrepreneurs, people searching for tangible assets with proven scarcity. And when investors enter a market, attention intensifies. That growing attention has pushed extraordinary era coins into the spotlight. Record-breaking sales continue capturing headlines. Rare varieties achieve prices that once seemed unimaginable. And every major sale reinforces a simple truth: rarity matters, condition matters, demand matters. Now let's discuss the factor that often separates a valuable coin from a life-changing one: condition. A rare coin in heavily circulated condition may still command a premium, but a rare coin preserved in exceptional condition becomes something entirely different. Professional grading evaluates surface preservation, strike quality, luster, eye appeal, and overall condition. The highest grades represent a tiny fraction of surviving examples. These elite specimens occupy the top tier of the market. When collectors compete for the best-known examples, bidding wars can emerge. And that's where extraordinary numbers begin appearing. The figure most often associated with the most exceptional examples linked to this coin is $791,000. Now, it's important to understand that such valuations depend on extraordinary circumstances. We're talking about a near-perfect storm of rarity, condition, historical significance, collector demand, and auction competition. Not every 1975 penny is worth a fortune. Far from it. Most are worth exactly what you would expect, 1 cent. But every treasure story begins with something ordinary. And occasionally, something ordinary turns out to be extraordinary. That's the magic of coin collecting. Attention reset. Look around your home right now. A coin jar, a dresser drawer, a piggy bank, a forgotten collection inherited from a relative. How many coins are waiting to be examined? How many have never been checked? How many stories remain undiscovered? Those questions drive the hobby forward. Collectors aren't just searching for coins. They're searching for possibilities. They're searching for hidden history. They're searching for overlooked wealth. And every search begins with curiosity. Today's market environment has only amplified that excitement. Interest in rare coins continues expanding as more people learn about hidden treasures in circulation. Social media, online auctions, collector forums, and grading databases have made information more accessible than ever. As awareness grows, competition grows. And as competition grows, the window of opportunity narrows. That's why experienced collectors constantly emphasize education. The earlier you learn what to look for, the greater your chance of identifying something special before someone else does. Because once a coin becomes widely recognized, finding undiscovered examples becomes increasingly difficult. That reality creates urgency, not panic. Opportunity. The opportunity to examine what others ignore. The opportunity to see value where others see spare change. The opportunity to develop to the eye of a collector rather than the habits of a spender. And that distinction matters more than most people realize. The spender sees a penny. The collector sees a question. Could this be rare? Could this be valuable? Could this be the one? Sometimes the answer is number, but sometimes the answer changes everything. As we reach the end of this story, remember what makes the 1975 mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny so fascinating. Its mystery, its scarcity, its unusual minting characteristics, its reputation as a ghost within the collecting community, and its connection to the enduring dream that extraordinary value can hide within ordinary objects. That's a dream that has inspired collectors for generations, and judging by current market interest, it isn't fading anytime soon. So before you spend another penny without looking closely, take a second glance, inspect the date, examine the mint mark, look for doubling, watch for unusual features, because somewhere out there, a remarkable coin may still be waiting to be discovered. And if history has taught collectors anything, it's that the next great find often appears where nobody expected it. But here's the truly fascinating part. The coin we're covering next has an even stranger reputation. Unlike this mysterious Lincoln cent, the next ultra-rare coin is connected to a minting anomaly so unusual that many collectors initially refused to believe it existed. Its discovery shocked experts, triggered a frenzy among treasure hunters, and sparked one of the most intense searches in modern numismatic history. And if rumors are accurate, examples may still be hiding in circulation today. What if I told you that a single coin, sitting unnoticed in a dusty jar, forgotten inside a kitchen drawer, or buried beneath the seats of an old car, could be worth more than a luxury mansion? Right now, millions of Americans handle coins every day without giving them a second thought. They toss them into tip jars, feed them into vending machines, or leave them scattered across countertops. But what if one of those ordinary-looking coins wasn't ordinary at all? Imagine two people holding the exact same penny. One spends it without hesitation. The other takes a closer look and discovers a hidden fortune. One loses wealth. The other finds it. And that's exactly why collectors across the country are searching for what many experts consider one of the most mysterious and potentially valuable modern American coins ever discussed in numismatic circles. The 1982 mint mark Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny. At first glance, it appears completely ordinary, but hidden beneath its copper-colored surface may be a combination of characteristics, minting anomalies, and rare production circumstances that have turned this coin into something collectors describe as a ghost. A coin that almost nobody notices, a coin that almost nobody finds, and a coin that some believe could command staggering prices when the right specimen appears before the right buyer. So before you spend another penny, stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn could completely change the way you look at pocket change forever. The story begins in one of the most important years in modern American coinage history. 1982 was a year of dramatic transition for the United States Mint. Production costs were rising, copper prices were climbing, and the government was searching for ways to reduce manufacturing expenses. As a result, 1982 became one of the most complex years ever for Lincoln cent production. Multiple mint locations, multiple compositions, multiple die varieties, and multiple opportunities for mistakes. Collectors today still spend countless hours studying 1982 coins because the year produced an unusually large number of variations. Some were intentional, others were accidental, and a few remain controversial mysteries. That uncertainty is exactly what fuels demand, because when uncertainty meets rarity, collectors pay attention. Now here's where things get fascinating. The so-called Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny has become associated with a small group of coins that display highly unusual characteristics involving mint marks, die anomalies, strike irregularities, and design distortions that appear inconsistent with standard production expectations. Some examples reportedly exhibit abnormal mint mark placement. Others show evidence of double design elements. A few reveal unusual die deterioration patterns that create visual effects unlike those found on ordinary circulation pieces. And then there are the examples that appear to combine multiple anomalies on a single coin. Those are the coins that generate serious excitement. Attention reset. If you have a jar of old pennies somewhere in your home, this might be the moment to pause and think about it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because the overwhelming majority of valuable discoveries happen when someone decides to take a second look at coins they already own. Back to the story. What truly elevates this coin beyond ordinary error collecting is its reputation for scarcity. Many error coins become famous because thousands are eventually discovered. This one is different. Collectors often describe it as elusive. Auction appearances remain extremely limited. Documented examples are difficult to verify, and the finest specimens almost never enter public circulation once identified. That lack of visibility creates an unusual situation. The fewer examples collectors can study, the greater the intrigue becomes. The greater the intrigue becomes, the stronger the demand grows. And when demand grows faster than supply, values can explode. This is one of the oldest economic principles in existence. Yet in coin collecting, it plays out repeatedly. A rare coin remains unnoticed. Collectors begin searching. Supply proves tiny. Competition intensifies. Prices rise. Then suddenly everyone wishes they had looked earlier. The psychology is powerful. Nobody wants to be the person who spent a fortune by accident. And that's exactly what drives the treasure hunting culture surrounding rare coins. Now let's examine some of the specific characteristics advanced collectors search for. One key area involves mint mark abnormalities. Because mint marks were applied differently during this era, certain positioning errors could occur under the right circumstances. A misplaced mint mark can dramatically increase collector interest. Another area involves doubling. When portions of the design appear duplicated due to die creation issues, collectors often classify the coin as a double die variety. The stronger and clearer the doubling, the more desirable the coin becomes. Then there are strike-through errors. These occur when foreign material interferes with the minting process, leaving unusual impressions on the finished coin. Even small strike-throughs can attract attention, but dramatic examples can command extraordinary premiums. Die cracks, die breaks, cuts, off-center strikes, rotational errors, and planchet anomalies also contribute to a coin's desirability. When multiple errors appear together, the rarity factor increases substantially. Think about it this way. Finding one unusual characteristic is already difficult. Finding several on the same coin is like winning multiple lotteries simultaneously. And that is precisely why elite collectors become willing to pay astonishing amounts. Here's another attention reset. Have you ever laughed at someone for checking pennies? Many people do. Yet history has repeatedly shown that small coins can generate enormous wealth. It's one of the few hobbies where 1-cent object can potentially outperform traditional investments. Funny, isn't it? The coin everyone ignores often becomes the coin everyone wants. As interest in hidden wealth stories has expanded, attention surrounding rare Lincoln cents has intensified. Online forums, private collector groups, auction houses, and grading experts continue monitoring the market for exceptional discoveries. Every new example that surfaces adds another piece to the puzzle. Every high-profile sale creates fresh headlines, and every headline inspires thousands of new searches. This creates a feedback loop. More attention leads to more demand. More demand leads to stronger prices. Stronger prices encourage more searches, and the cycle continues. But here's what separates serious collectors from casual observers. Condition. Condition changes everything. A rare coin in poor condition may still be valuable, but a rare coin preserved in exceptional condition enters an entirely different category. Professional grading services evaluate factors such as wear, strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. The highest grades represent tiny fractions of surviving populations, and those top-tier examples are the ones that frequently set records. Which brings us to the number that captures everyone's imagination: $781,000. Now, it's important to understand that values at this level depend on extraordinary circumstances. We're talking about the finest known examples: remarkable rarity, exceptional preservation, unique characteristics, and highly competitive bidding environments. Not every unusual penny is worth a fortune. Far from it, but when all the right factors align, rare coins have demonstrated the ability to achieve prices that seem almost impossible. That's what makes this market so captivating. You're not just holding metal, you're holding history, you're holding scarcity, you're holding a story. And stories have value, especially when very few people possess them. Attention reset. Take a moment and ask yourself this question. How many pennies have passed through your hands over the last decade? Thousands? Tens of thousands? Now imagine if one of them carried a hidden rarity that could transform your financial future. Would you want to know? Most people would. And that's why collectors continue searching. The possibility is small, but the reward can be life-changing. As we move into a new era of collecting, market momentum remains strong for elite terror coins and unusual Lincoln cent varieties. Younger collectors are entering the hobby. Digital marketplaces are increasing visibility. Auction records continue attracting media attention, and awareness of hidden treasures in circulation has never been higher. Many experts believe that the next major discovery could emerge from an old collection, a forgotten coin album, or a simple container of loose change. In other words, the next headline-making coin may already exist. It just hasn't been recognized yet. And that's the exciting part. Somewhere, someone is holding a rare coin without realizing it. Somewhere, a valuable piece of history is waiting to be identified. And somewhere, a collector is about to experience the thrill of a lifetime. So before you dismiss that jar of pennies, before you empty that piggy bank, and before you spend another coin without looking closely, remember this story. The difference between a spender and a collector is often just a few seconds of attention. One person sees 1 cent, the other sees opportunity. One person sees pocket change, the other sees hidden wealth. And sometimes, that difference can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. If stories like this fascinate you, make sure you're paying close attention to every coin that crosses your path. Because the next ultra-rare coin we're covering has a history even stranger than this one. It's a coin surrounded by controversy, mystery, and a discovery story that stunned veteran collectors across the country. And if the rumors surrounding that coin are true, there may still be undiscovered examples hiding in plain sight today.